would then pursue, that would be a different path with the current firm down the line.
Certainly with the remaining two, that might be a question you might want to ask as far as
Okay.
searches outside of the state, because I'll tell you, each of these two have done a lot of searches outside the state as well. So you're going to get a lot more of those.
Okay. The remaining two firms?
With the firm that we were just interviewing with, they're searching for, searches for village or city managers appears to be one, and then a library director, so it's not a lot of experience in that way, except these guys do know a lot of people, so like I say, I was more pleasantly surprised than I thought I would be. Any other comments?
If not, I can go get
Who's
it.
next?
Ed Henschel.
RW management.
Got people searching the bridge for my glasses.
We're ready for you, Ed.
You have a whole team on it? PD, Sheriff PD?
I got my peeps. Wait for him for the chief. Arms getting right to
So did you bring warm weather with you?
Oh, does it look like it?
So what we're going to do, just to, looks like you got some tan down in Florida there too. We're gonna have 45 minutes to talk about RW here. First
Okay.
15 minutes will be a presentation by you, and then the second 15 minutes will be Q&A. And then the third 15 minutes is, we just discuss among ourselves without you present. So that's the plan right now.
Sounds like a good one.
So with that, if you want to introduce yourself, and we'll introduce ourselves to you.
All right.
Okay, start. Ann?
Oh, introduce, hi, I'm Ann McKay.
Carry Backhorst.
Hi.
Paul.
Okay.
And I'm Guy Johnson.
Mike Marr.
All right, very good, thank you. Well, thank you for inviting us here. Some of you, maybe all of you, have seen me here before. I was here a year and a half ago on your garbage collection study, I think. Well, let me start out, let me introduce myself for those of you who don't know me very well or don't know me at all. I'm Ed Henschel. I'm the General Manager and Senior Consultant for RW Management Group. By way of background, I spent 33 years as either a city administrator or a village manager, working in 2 states. I started my career in Michigan, where I grew up, and came to Wisconsin in the late 70s. Became the village manager of Elm Grove. I served there for about 16 years. Moved up to your neighborhood and was the village manager of Whitefish Bay for about 7 years. Decided to semi-retire. And a month after I semi-retired, I got a call from the city of Waukesha, whose administrator had left. They did a recruitment, hired a firm like you're doing. The city council was not entirely pleased with the candidates they got. One of the aldermen knew I lived in Waukesha and called me up and said, we'd like you to consider the city administrator's job in Waukesha. I said, you know, thank you, but no thank you. I just kind of semi-retired a month ago, and I'm enjoying life right now. After the third telephone call, I agreed to meet with the mayor and council president, and as we met for breakfast and as we were walking out of the restaurant, the mayor turned to me and stopped me in the parking lot and he said, so when can you start? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with you, the council president, what you have going on. I know you have some needs. I said, I'll do it for 2 years, but that's all. I did it for 3. 2.5 years in, I said, look, you got to find somebody that can do this long term. They had a culture there that didn't fit my personality and my management style, and it would have taken me 10 years to change that culture, and I didn't have 10 years. So I went back to consulting work, which I do now. I also served as the executive director of the Wisconsin City County Management Association for 10 years. Municipal consulting work for 15 years. I've been an adjunct professor teaching at UW Milwaukee for the last 5 years. I teach a course in the fall so I can enjoy warm weather in the spring, or the winter, I guess, which we've been doing. I also teach a public administration course for UW Extension. I do that twice a year in the fall and in late spring, early summer. And that's a course for public sector middle management folks. Before you do the math, I'm not that old. If you add up all those years, there's some overlap there, okay? So
you
while
don't live
I'm-
105.
yeah, exactly. I'm close to it, but not quite there yet. So there's some of those positions overlap. So anyway, I think you get the idea that I've been around and I've had some experience. There's a commercial on TV that goes something like, well, we know a lot because we've seen a lot. I carry that a little bit farther. I've also done a lot and succeeded at a lot. And I think my successes have far outweighed my failures in both city administration and in consulting. RW Management Group has been in existence since 1999. It is a full-service municipal consulting organization. We do work for cities, villages, towns, counties, universities, and we've done one project for an Indian nation. All of the people at RW Management are former practitioners like me, either administrators, city managers. The president of the company is Jeff Romer. He's former, his background is both police and fire. So when we have those kinds of projects, he tends to do those. I do the general management stuff. And then our other folks help us with public works and the other specialty things that come along. Let me talk a little bit about the recruitment process. I'm going to start out and tell you that they're pretty similar. I know that you're interviewing 3 firms tonight. I'm sure they're all 3 good firms. The processes are pretty similar. One of the things that we try to do is spend a lot of time with the community before we advertise. I have a little survey that I ask elected officials and the staff and community stakeholders, if you like, to fill out to prioritize what you think that you would really like to see in your new village manager. Every community wants the village manager that can walk on water, okay? But there are priorities to how much water you want them to walk on and how deep the water has to be, and we want to know that so that we can match the best candidates to the immediate, long-term, and future needs of the community. So we spent some time doing that. And it's a little bit of effort on your part. It doesn't take very long. We've gotten pretty good at reading in between the lines. It's a ranking of 1 to 10. And by the way, when you do it, we don't let you use one number more than once. We force you to think a little bit too, which helps us get the job done. Bless you. I think you have our proposal. I'm going to go through it very, very quickly, since I only have 15 minutes and I didn't start a clock. So
It's right there.
you can cut me off whenever.
It's right there.
Okay. I have till what, 7:30? Okay, I'll keep an eye on it. We remain active in a lot of professional organizations and keep our finger in what's going on around the state and around the country. League conferences, International City Management Association, Wisconsin City Management Association that I used to be executive director of, and what have you. So what do? We handle the process for you from start to finish. We develop a community profile. We develop a position profile based on the prioritization that you give us. We do the advertising. We try to avoid the advertising that we think is expensive and not very effective. And we try to focus on the advertising that will bring you the best candidates. We strongly encourage that you do a national search, and it doesn't cost any more to advertise nationally than it does regionally or locally. So I can't remember when the last time I did a recruitment that wasn't a national search. And I strongly encourage that. We handle that advertising for you. When we have applicants apply, we review all of the applications. You are part-time folks, we get it. You probably don't want to go through a stack of paper like that, that's why you hire us. And we take the most salient information from each of the resumes and we put it into essentially a table chart format, which is very easy for you all to review and get a handle on who applied for this particular job. And we provide that to you. We go over those and we will have a meeting with the village board. By the way, our whole process is very interactive with you. I'm assuming, can I ask a question in the middle of this? I'm assuming the village board is going to be the search committee. Is that correct? Or?
Correct.
Okay, all right, good. So we communicate with you every step of the way and tell you what's going on and what stage we're at. We review those, we will come up with what we call a first cut. It's usually about 10 or 12 applicants that you tell us you're comfortable with. We have a meeting, we go over those. I'd like to have that meeting in closed session. Because many of these applicants, I mean, they're employed and they want to stay employed where they're at while they go through a process of looking for another position. We then, based on the semifinalists that we all agree upon, we do telephone interviews with those semifinalists. One of the things that we're very careful about is, and you may or may not appreciate this, but we never ever show you pictures of applicants. Occasionally we'll get a resume and somebody will include their photograph. We don't show that to you. If it happens to be a minority, we don't want you either accepting them or discounting them because of race, color, creed, or anything else. We're very careful about the legal processes involved in hiring. We will pre-qualify those candidates. Oh, I'm sorry, let me stop there. We will do the telephone interviews and then we create another summary of the responses we got on the questions we asked during the telephone interview. We will have another meeting with you and we'll go through that summary and kind of talk about how they did on the phone, both in terms of the answers they gave and how they handled themselves on a telephone. I don't know if any of you have ever done a telephone interview for a job or not. It's pretty tough. And it's tough because the applicant, you're shaking your head, and you don't know what the body language is at the other end. Of course, I don't know yours either, okay? So you have to work really hard to sell yourself, and it's a sales process, let's face it. It's a competitive process. And the goal is to get the very best candidate to present to you that you can afford to buy. After you go through all those, we will then have a meeting and I kind of facilitate this discussion and we agree on who the finalists ought to be. Usually it's a group of 3 to 5 and then those finalists are the ones that we bring in for you to meet personally. When we have that interview, I always do a little prep before the interviews with you all. Now, some of you may have done recruitments before or interviewing, but I want to make sure that we don't ask any illegal questions, and so I give a little 15-minute training session on what you can and cannot ask during an interview, okay? You know, you've got this young lady here who's an applicant, you say, how many kids do you have? Yeah, you don't want to do that. And various questions like that, you know, how old are you? Yeah, you don't want to do that. So we talk about that. I'll also prepare a set of interview questions, and I'll go over all of those with you, and we modify those based on what you'd like to know. Throughout this process, I'm gonna get a pretty good handle on what kind of skills you're looking for, what kind of questions you wanna ask, but we'll modify that at the very end before that interview occurs. And then, after all the candidates are gone and you've done the interview, and hopefully there's somebody there that stands head and shoulders above everybody else, or maybe you've got 2 or 3 candidates that are, boy, they're really two or three really good ones. I'll have a facilitated discussion with you, and we'll lead that conversation to try to come to a consensus on the one. When we get there, we do the background checks on them, make sure that everything they put in their resume is truthful. They have the education they said they did. They have not committed any crimes. We do a financial background check to make sure that they're not